I'm with Kaushik Desai. Kaushik, since you are a key member of the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, what are the key challenges being faced by Indian pharma companies today? And of course, regulatory is one of the hot topics.
Yeah, other than regulatory, there are a few more challenges. Yes. I'll say one is the pricing, which is a main issue which is coming up nowadays. Even the US people are talking about reduction in prices within their manufacturing areas. Second is competition, which is picking up, because initially generic was more in demand. Now generics also, now pricing issues have come up, lot of challenges have come in that. Competitors are in place now, so it's no longer that lucrative business the way it was earlier. And third is the maintenance of compliance issues and the regulatory challenges, which increase in cost of compliance and maintenance of the quality standards.
So we've always seen India being a leader in the volume game. Volume has always been India's forte. Do you see this changing? When can we look at ourselves being the leader in value generation?
We are likely to be, because right now we are third by volume and 13th by value in pharmaceutical business. But it is expected that maybe next by 2024 we are likely to be in the first 20 in the 20% of the volume will be taken by us and will be market leader. Particularly our focus, we are market leader in the emerging countries. Among all emerging countries, we will be the number one. Maybe leading after China. China is another competitor for us because of size of their company and size of country actually. But India is not far behind, particularly in the volume business.
So what are the steps that you think the Indian government can take towards getting us to that leadership position?
Indian government has to first have a cluster, pharma clusters, what they have been talking since long, but it has not picked up that level. Although they made some beginning a few years back, giving excise free zones like at Uttarakhand as well as Baddi and Sikkim, but those benefits are over. But it has own logistical issues. At the same time, when they thought about these centers to a pharma zone, they did not think about other infrastructure which should go side by side. So there were always lacking infrastructure issues on those areas. But if your India has to grow, we have to grow on the railroad and that transport particularly, and the reach basically to the common man. Because right now the Indian medicine manufacturers, what is done is more an urban area. 70% of population does not have easy access to the medicines which are produced in India. So that companies also has a challenge to make more inroads into rural area and change their focus.
While we are already dealing with our own regulatory issues and a whole lot of other changes, what do you think is the changes brought about by the new Trump administration which can have a deep impact on India or the Indian pharmaceutical sector specifically?
Actually, it is said that Trump has made a statement that he has called US CEOs, pharma CEOs, and asked them to reduce prices. And suddenly the Indian companies thought that US companies will come in play and they will be out of business. But that may not be the case, because in US, if they reduce the taxes, the fraction of the business is taxes is minimum compared to the company revenue what US is generating for manufacturing companies. While Indian pharma companies are always going to be competitive in terms of generics, and US doesn't produce so many generics what we have been producing, and US government is led by insurance people. So insurance companies are going to go for generics because it's cheaper and a better way of getting it. In fact, recently it has been said by government it's a more scope for India to enter in a still better way in the US market because of competition.
So US will continue to be a growth driver?
US will continue to be on roll for us. It will be main focus. Because Europe, what has happened, Europe before market is good, price is good, but the volume is there is no volume. Our one batch capacity caters to almost 3-4 countries in Europe actually. That much volume we produce. So Europe is not a volume business. First is US, and second will come to UK business, and third will be MENA countries, Middle East and North America. So that business is also picking up rest of the world.
There was an interesting point that you brought out in today's conference where you were talking about how 483s are not a reason to get alarmed, and they are very different from actually receiving the warning letters. So for the benefit of our investors, can you elaborate on this point?
Yeah, 483 basically is a set of observations which any regulator will give while doing audit. Even you go for MHRA, there is a separate set of observations not labeled as 483. If you go for even Indian inspections, they give observations not labeled as 483. But issue comes up when 483 is not addressed properly, because there are issues how you address those 483 observations, and that leads to a warning letter if you are not addressed properly. As I said earlier, that there is a minimum period of almost 10 months between the time you get 483 to get your warning letter, in case if it comes up or import alert comes. So that 10 months are very crucial phase to address all your challenges whichever has come in 483. So at the same time, I said US has a window where you can go to US FDA, explain them the process what you have been doing to address those issues. So if you are not on the right path, they will tell you at that time itself, okay, no, you have to change your focus and this is not the way we expect you to do it. So if you follow that and have a continuous dialogue with the US FDA inspectors, office particularly, not the inspectors at the US, they give you time and they explain you also and help you to comply to the requirements as per their expectations, so that quality, efficacy and everything is maintained as what they have interpreted.
So how does the association, the Indian Pharma Association, help in this?
What we
entire
do,
scene?
basically we are more in the skill building and the training and development of the people.
Okay.
So
Which is equally important.
Which is equally important, because we have seen that all these 483s, if arises, either arise from not following the quality systems. And when you don't follow means either you don't understand, or you don't know what to do, or you know half of that what you to do. So what we do, that we train right from the students level, entry level supervisors. We are Indian Pharmacy Association, 79 years organization, and we have 20 branches all over states, 20 states and 40 local branches. Our 2 states are very active in that. One is Tamil Nadu and another one is Karnataka. At both places we have training institutes where the company sends first line supervisors to get trained for a period of 1 month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, depending on the module how they like to train. At the same time, the masters, those are coming out, students, those are coming out, they get trained there. Plus there have been several courses which have been started on the regulatory affairs, which is a new area which is coming up, which is not part of the curriculum as on date in the pharmacy. So we encourage students to do regulatory affairs course and explain them what is the need and why it is very important in nowadays. Because every company has a regulatory affairs department, which was not the earlier case, it was part of quality assurance or quality control area. But now every company has a 3 separate sections: quality assurance, quality control and regulatory affairs. Plus IPR too, that's another area which our students get exposed to. And now another area which has started, we are part of the team of Life Science Skill Building Council, that is the Skill India initiative by Ministry of Skill Development, Government of India, where all stakeholders are partner, and we are very active partner in that to identify the skills required in a pharma company by a technician, by an operator, by a chemist. There are 61 job standards have been already listed by this council, and there is a circular given by DCGI of India, the Drug Controller of India, that all companies can take this benefit of this skill development council. Of this, there is an assessment freely done to the companies having turnover less than 150 crores, and assessment is done per individual less than 1000 rupees for the company having more than 150 crores. So there is a skill gap analysis, and then there is, after doing analysis, then there is option is open, either you go to skill development council to upgrade your skills of the people, or have an internal training with experts to upgrade your skills. So time will come that along with these 483 observations and all that, slowly we have skills going up simultaneously of the people, those who are managing the show, and it's a passing phase, I will say, because skill development also takes its own time, because we have to change entire culture of the organization in that skill development, and the quality culture changes right from the top. And right example is now Mr. Satish Reddy, who is the Managing Director or Chairman for Dr. Reddy's group. He is heading the Skill Development Council for Life Sciences, and they have, all industries are taking very active part in this initiative. So Indian Pharmacy Association, other than doing this, we do every quarter, we have Industrial Pharmacy Division and the Regulatory Affairs Division. Just to a little background on Indian Pharmaceutical Association, we are 79 years organization of professionals working in industry, academia, regulatory affairs, community pharmacy and hospital pharmacy. So we have 5 divisions, and we have 5 divisional chair people headed by President And currently I am honorary general secretary. We have treasurer, and we have 2 house magazines, one for scientific magazine and one for Pharma Times, which is a magazine of regular affairs which is happening in industry as well as for our state's activities. So through this association we do our training programs. Like for example, any new guideline which comes in play by US FDA or any other regulators, any other global regulators, we start doing training sessions, so then sensitize the people. The people means those who are coming from industry. We don't go to industry. Industry sends professionals to our programs, and we get experts to train them, maybe a Indian regulator, foreign regulator, or an expert from industry who has undergone this system. So they train, and it's a 2-day workshop which happens every 3 months on the new guidelines throughout India. And that's the way we promote and sensitize the people to get aware that future is going to be like this and you got to be ready. Because what is happening, all these new US FDA is nothing is new right now. These guidelines are same right from first day to today. Only it's being a dynamic, keeps on changing considering current scenario.
Have they also become more aggressive?
They have become more aggressive, yes. We are to be blamed partly to that actually. If everything started with a company Ranbaxy years back, and then they started getting suspicious, and that let's see that everywhere how things are, and from that it started ball rolling. But I will say it's a passing phase, and at the same time I will consider this a learning phase too, that we were become complacent, that we have 525 plus 500 plus manufacturing sites approved by US FDA, all have been cleared so far, no 483s, no warning letters. So people had become little complacent. You know, but now the scenario has changed, culture is getting changed, and top management is taking very seriously, because it's a very difficult to balance between compliance and the business goals. But
so like you rightly said, once in a while an inspector actually makes things good for the entire
so
sector.
But now things are changing for good, because at least I consider that 17 or maybe 2017 end, most of the companies, those who are warning letters, will come out of it. Because this process has started almost 2 years back to come out of this. So addressing of those, they are just waiting for outcome, barring, and there are always going to be black sheeps all over. We cannot deny that, but at the same time we cannot generalize this statement that all companies are bad.
Absolutely. So if 10 years from now, if we were having this conversation on the pharmaceutical sector and how is it going?
Oh, we'll be pharma capital of the world.
Excellent. That seems very good for the investors today.
Because I see the way the technology is changing and the way we are adopting to the technology. See, the time is going to come for continuous manufacturing in 10 years down the line. There will be less and less human interface doing any activities.
And that you think is our major
entire
area
plant
of
will become paperless. And if you see that we have best of IT skills in world and best of pharma, both are considered as a knowledge sector by government too, and both are identified as like that. So considering the way things are moving, we should be doing far better than what we are doing now.